Hello, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome back. Coach Phill here, your high-performance business coach, where we help businesses and entrepreneurs realign the teams so that they can make more money, get more performance from them, have a better legacy out there, and impact on the competition. So, in this particular episode, remember we're doing the rapid influence system. Rapid influence, where you use a system to rapidly influence your ability to make your business work better. In this particular episode, I want to talk about one of those things that is a big time challenge for all of us as entrepreneurs and leaders. Now, you and me know that we are inundated with ideas and with opportunities and with things that, there's not one day that passes in the life of an entrepreneur or leader where there's not an opportunity, where somebody comes in and says, hey, there's this thing you could do here, or there's this opportunity, or there's a time when I just started in business, there were so many things to do. I think every week I had somebody come in to sell me something. There's a time I had, I think, let me see, how many? Maybe 4 or 5 network marketers coming to present something, And then I had some guys, the times in my life where, some guys would come to me and say, hey, we could start a street something, or we could open up this business, or we can invest this money here, and sometimes as a leader you're inundated. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you got to ask, okay, how do I decide which one to go for? How do I decide what to do? And today I want to share with you a formula which will help you to decide what you go for, what you invest in, but most importantly, what will give you the greatest returns, what will give you what you're looking for in life. Because we could end up finding ways of distracting ourselves from our mission and being a jack of everything. There's so many guys who I've seen along the way, they start off well with one thing, and then before you know it, 2-3 years down the road, when you find them, they say, I'm doing this, I've started this, I've started this, I've started this. And you all know that never gives you mastery. Because if you haven't taken time to master one thing and do it so well, why the hell are you attempting to do everything else? But this is also what happens when you take focus away from all the other things. Then guess what? They're not going to work, because where focus goes, energy goes. Where energy goes, you get results. So if you have your energy scattered, there's no way you're going to get back the return that you deserve. So today I want to share with you a formula, and this comes from my studies of Brennan Burchard and a lot of the Genius Network people. And out of them, I found that they use a certain system to work out what will they focus on, what will they do. By the way, if you look at the list of the top 10 richest people in the world, they all started with one thing, and they did it for so long before they diversified. And this is something you must take away as a leader, as an entrepreneur. It's not about how many things. First find that one and focus and get it done properly. If I ask you, the same answers are going to come up. What is Bill Gates about? You're going to tell me the same thing. What is Dangote about? You're going to tell me the same thing. What is Tata about? The same thing. They're all about one thing first before they diversify. What are you about? So here, let me share with you a great formula. When you follow this, you're going to find that, number one, it makes it so easy to say no. It makes it so easy for you to continue to do what you love to do, because it totally churns out all the chaff. So the formula is in such a way that it helps you that it is not just about the money. Because guess what? There's life after the money. And if it is just the money, it will never last. It will kill you. It will kill your system. And then what? It is a lot more than that. So we just want to talk about what is going to help you to decide what you're going to be obligated to, how you're going to make decisions, what matters to you, what gives you joy and fulfillment. There's no point of doing a business where you're just killing yourself. No, the people who really enjoy, the people who are in flow. I'll talk about flow one of these days in one of the sessions. Being in a state of flow is where things are moving, man. You're making things happen and you're enjoying the process. That doesn't mean there's no hard work. No, you're working like crazy. You're probably working harder than a lot of employed people, but you're in a state of flow. You're just loving every minute of it, okay? So this is about saying, hey, you know what am I going to do that's going to allow me to fulfill my life? So I'm not selling my soul to something, but I'm instead living the life that I deserve, serving others, making a difference, and ensuring that my family is looked after for however long I want it to be. So let us look at this particular formula. We will start off here on the board. I like this part. As you can tell, I'm a teacher. I love to train. So this is where we're going to start off. Now, this side of whatever you decide to do, we call this what you're going to input into the business. The terms, the acronym is terms, has got to be, ladies and gentlemen, has got to be less than, not even equal to, less than. I had to put that there for you to get it, less than what you're going to get out. If it is not, then don't even bother. Don't even think about it, okay? So you got to be thinking, okay, whatever opportunity, this is called the opportunity evaluator. We'll call it the opportunity evaluator. Okay, how do I decide what to do, you know? All these people who come to me asking me from a coaching point of view, coach, what do I decide what to do? Here is your answer. Number one, you got to be asking yourself, how much time am I going to put in this particular event, in this particular idea? What kind of time is going to be required of me to make it work? How much am I going to have to sacrifice from everything else to make this particular idea work? As you all know, ladies and gentlemen, there's not many things that are going to really be big time in your life that don't need time. You got to always be thinking, how much time am I going to put in this? What is going to be the opportunity cost in terms of time on other things, on other ideas? You know, I keep telling a story of a gentleman who is multi-millionaire, has got a great company, and we were having a conversation. I was meant to do a training for him. I ended up not doing the training because for some reason he did not see, did not appreciate that if the business is not about lifestyle and enjoyment, what is the point? I realized that it would be much harder to convince the gentleman that, hey, it was not actually about convincing the gentleman. It was about helping him to see that there's more to him running the business than anything else. And this is what happened. And I've told this story before. He called me in because he was concerned that his daughters hated the business. They hated the business. They hated, you know, everything to do with the company. And, you know, he was telling me, coach, you know, I'm now stuck. I need to start thinking of who's going to take over. I've got to look outside of the family because these girls just don't love the business. I said, well, I wonder why. So I began to dig a little bit, you know, and he said, but you know what? They love the money. Of course they love the money. But this is what had happened. Number one, he never did, and I'm going to digress a little bit here, but those of you who are parents, this is important. He never did what he had to do from a parent's point of view by teaching the children that you got to work. It is not what you leave for your children, it is what you leave in your children. He never ever took the opportunity to teach the children about working, about hard work, about knowing that you got to put in before you take out. So what he did was he opened up a different account for the wife and gave her the card or credit card, and she had, you know, she had access to the money. So the kids were spoiled rotten. They went to the most wonderful schools. They went for all kinds of holidays. Not that there's any problem with that, but they did not understand how to earn that. They were really spoiled, and then they got to that stage of saying, oh, daddy, we hate the business because you work so hard, you are so stressed, and we have never enjoyed your fatherhood. Now think about it. He thought he was working hard for them. Guess what? They've turned around and said, what you did is actually not as good because we missed out on you. So now they hate the business because this guy has not had a holiday in over 20 years. 20 years. He's a multi-millionaire. 20 years, has never gone on holiday. He only goes, if he gets the opportunity to go, he only goes to buy stuff. That's it. He has never had time out to go and rejuvenate the mind. Why? He has only been successful enough, and I predicted that he will struggle at a certain stage because he's in a business that is in its prime in terms of necessity. It provides a necessity to the population, okay? It is in the real estate side of things, and the economy or the middle class is growing, so there's a big market for that. But sooner or later, sharper people are going to take over. Why? He's not growing his mind. He's not seeing how he can be more of a solution than just a person who sells real estate stuff. What's the point of this? sometimes you have to be aware of the opportunity cost it's going to take you to achieve something. He's now struggling because the daughters don't want anything to do with the business. Why? Because he put everything into the business and he forgot to live a life. When you are evaluating these opportunities, you got to think holistic. Now, I work hard. You better work hard. But when it is time for me to be with the family, that's it. I have to have at least every 90 days I got to close off and just spend some time with my loved ones and my kids and just what? Just be there for them every 90, round about 90 to 100 days. Why? It's important. It's important for me, it's important for them, it's important for my rejuvenation, and it's important for me to come back fresher and begin to go again. So, hey, as you evaluate those opportunities, you got to be thinking about this. So think about how much time is it going to take for me to get this particular venture, this particular idea working. The next one is you got to think about how much, what is that? Energy it's going to take. How much of me is it going to take to get it going, to make a profit out of it, to serve more, to do what we have to do? How much energy is going to be required? Don't underestimate how much energy it begins for a startup. You all know as entrepreneurs, startup is not easy. If it's a great startup, you got to do some serious work. You got to put in the money. So you got to ask yourself, okay, how much energy is it going to take? Okay. Next one, you got to ask, okay, in terms of resources, what is it going to require of me? How much more of my resources do I have to put in? My human resource, my everything else that has got to go in. Okay? How many of my people are going to have to come on? How much else do I have to put in? Well, am I going to have to go and take something from another business and put it in here? Everything that is going to go in, you got to ask yourself, okay, how much of this is going to be required? Okay? Next one, of course, the big one. Your money. Okay? You're thinking, okay, as I'm evaluating this, how much money is it going to take me to get this off the ground? How much of your money is it going to take for you to take it off? Okay, you got to be asking that question seriously. And then this is I like this one. This is especially Brennan Bouchard likes to emphasize this. How much of your sanity is going to be sacrificed? How much of your happiness? Is that a smiley face? Well, might not be as good. But how much of your sanity, how much of your brain, how much is it going to take out of you? Okay? Are you going to become a zombie because you're working too hard to get it done? I don't know. Okay? So you got to ask yourself, how much of my sanity? You know, there are certain businesses, which I've done some serious. I used to be a DJ. Now that was insane. Okay? Why? There's a time, it is Christmas time, and we're in London. It's a cold Christmas day. We go and have a great meal, but all of a sudden we're thinking, hey, you got to go play some music somewhere because somebody hired you to go and make their party better. So me and my friends, my brother-in-law and whoever, after a quick dinner, we're rushing, we get into a van, picking machines, and then we drive, I think it was to Leeds or somewhere, like 4 or 5 hours. We left our loved ones to go and spend Christmas with somebody else. Then we get there, we're taking stuff out, we're spending the whole night playing music. Yeah, did we enjoy the music? Probably. But the sanity was gone. I've done businesses where, I got into network marketing and my upline used to harass me and call me all the time and push me and say, hey, so I got to switch off the phone and I got to lie and what. My sanity was gone. You got to think about this stuff. Now, this has got to be less than, ladies and gentlemen, number one is of course, everybody understands your return on investment. The money you're going to put in, what you're getting out in this business has got to be more. That is just normal business sense, okay? The return on investment, when I invest my time, my energy, my resources, my money, and my sanity, I must get more in terms of my return, especially money. Number two, plus, okay, let us do this properly, okay? My return on investment plus my future value of this particular venture has got to be more than this. So I will not invest in anything unless the future value is going to be way, way, way above what I'm putting it now. And this is where you really have to sit down and say, you know what is the future value of this particular venture? What am I going to get out of it? This is future value. Okay? If it is something that, if I'm doing something and I do not see that it is going to multiply 20, 30, 40 times in the future, there's no point of doing it. Everything that you do right now, you always have to be thinking, what is the future value of this? What is the future value of investing in this cause? What is the future value of, I invest so much up here because I know the investment up here is incredible. There's things that I learned, 10 years ago that have continued to earn me more and more money and more free lifestyle and more stuff. Why? Because the future value of what I learned was incredible. You got to be asking, whatever I invest in, is the future value going to be that high? Okay, and if it is not at least 20 times more, don't even consider it. Okay, next one. And this is where it gets very interesting. Okay, whatever venture you go into, whatever you invest in, it has got to be that the PD, which is what? Personal development. Now this is where most business entrepreneurs get it wrong. They stop here, usually. Return on investment. As long as they look at the numbers, they're good to go. But guess what? These are actually what makes great business ideas great. If whatever you're going to invest in is not going to help you to develop as a person, to become a better entrepreneur, to become a better leader, to become a better father, don't even think about it. Why? Anthony Robbins has said it for years. You're either growing or dying. If you invest something in something and it is not making you money, it's not making you a better person, you are not investing in the right thing. Now this is where it becomes extremely difficult for all of us to say, hey, everything that I invest in, it has got to give me something to make me a better person. If it is not, then I won't do it. You just watch what happens to all those stupid ideas that come along the way. Why? They are not giving you the ability to become a better person. You're not developing as a human being. And if you're not, then it's not worth it. I hope that makes sense. And yes, it might be hard on some of us, it might be hard on some of you, but it's important. If we want the opportunities that really make a difference in our lives, we must consider personal development. And then, finally, ladies and gentlemen, finally, and this is just taking it to the next level, whatever I invest in, the lifestyle. Lifestyle. Now, stay with me for a second. If you're going to do a business and you're going to put in all this stuff and it's not going to improve your lifestyle, it's not going to improve the way you live, the quality of your life, the way that you interact, how much time you have off, how much time you spend with your loved ones, the quality of the food you eat, the quality of your relationships, forget it. It is not going to be something that is worth pursuing. You think about it. Lifestyle, when up to here that is where people who never build great businesses stop. But when you begin to go deeper, this is what takes your ability to create something phenomenal to the next level. Why do a business that is going to kill you? You're not going to get any better, and your lifestyle is going to get worse. Now, yes, some people have, have done, they've gotten a picture. There's a great picture of Warren Buffett sitting in his house in a little corner drinking his Coca-Cola. People didn't even get the fact that he's a shareholder of Coca-Cola, so he's definitely going to advertise it. But they then say, yeah, but look, is he happy? Look at the man's smile. But in the simplicity of him doing what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, he has a great lifestyle. Lifestyle is not about you're going, by the way, it's only rich, stupid kids who can afford to go and travel places and not even enjoy the process. But people who are living a great lifestyle, they're in charge. They do what they want to do when they want to do it. They don't necessarily fly in business class. No, they fly in coach so that they can observe people. But they go where they want to do. If, there's something great about deciding to fly coach when you can actually afford business class. There's something so powerful, it's unbelievable. You can afford it, but guess what? It is not Okay? It's only it's only government people and broke people who fly business class. I'm sorry, but that is something I just heard from somebody. He said, you know what? Rich people do not necessarily. I mean, how many of you have heard the story that Richard Branson traveled coach for such a long time on his own plane? Come on, think about it. Okay? So when we go back to lifestyle, it's not about living big or no, it's about having the ability to live a great quality of life where you decide the kind of food you eat. You can afford to do what you want. You can afford to take your kids to the right school. You can afford to take them out of school and take them on travel. Instead of them doing a history lesson about the China wall, you take them on a flight to China so they see the freaking wall. That is the kind of great lifestyle you're talking about. So what are we saying? That whatever business you decide, this stuff has got to be way, 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 way more than this stuff. Any time, energy, resources, money, and sanity has got to be way less than how much you get out of it. So next time anybody walks into your office and they say, hey man, I got a great idea. You say, no problem, put it up. Then go through the process. Will it need time? Yes. How much time? Will it need energy? Yes. And then turn around and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Now this is what's going to happen. You're going to find yourself saying much more no's to so much stuff, which will then keep you on your path of creating that company that makes a difference. Remember, great entrepreneurs and great leaders is what makes this world work, is what makes economies work. And great entrepreneurs know that you got to find that one thing and go after it right crazy. Now, below this, ladies and gentlemen, there's certain things that you have to be aware of. Okay? With these things, you will find that, hey, you have really found a way to make things happen. Okay? All these things have got to have this below them. Number one, whatever business idea that you have has got to have the foundation of passion, the foundation of your purpose, because without passion and purpose, what is the point? And then most importantly, you've got to have faith and belief in the freaking idea to make it work. It's not about selling your soul. It's now about saying much more no to the things that don't make a difference, so you can concentrate on the things that make you shine. Then you can get out there, build a business that is going to make an ultimate difference, not just in one generation, but for generations, so that you are seen as a person who changed a generation and made a difference and was a great role model to the business community. So whatever you do this particular week, live strong and say a lot more no to a lot more things, so that you can become the master of that one thing, and therefore you make the biggest difference. You have a great week. Live strong, live with passion, and have the audacity to live the kind of lifestyle that suits you as an entrepreneur. I love you. See you soon.